was left behind and sour, and she wrote to me equally dour. She said, in the days when you were hopelessly poor, I just liked you more. Dangerfield, Dangerfield.
All right there? Everything going good? Right, hello. Oh, it's been a while. 4 long days. Apologies. IRL, problems left and right. Situations akimbo. My mate visited. Life itself. Earning dollars, etc. Little hint of a migraine. Mate got concussion. Yeah, he's doing a tour of Asia. A comedy tour of Asia. What a treat. I mean, he's doing Tokyo, Bangkok, Patong. I mean, already just wonderful. Then Phnom Penh, Kuala Lumpur, lovely. On a coach, down to Kampot in Cambodia. Saw a suitcase, looked like it was going to fall on someone's head. Stood up to be the hero, leapt for the suitcase. But watch out! But then the coach, like it tends to on that kind of hideous road down there, and they overtake on hills and corners, and there's many a burnt out kind of skeleton of a previously deceased vehicle and contents roadside again frequently as all that's going on. No, watch out, he's concussion. Now, like a comedy hero, he continued and done the gig, but he had like an ice pack on his head. He kept rubbing his head and looking into space. And today he rang me up saying everything's going slow motion. I'm stuck in a massage parlour. Of all the reasons, of all the places, I cannot leave. I'm going to have to do the day here. Anyway, so many a thing happening, as I'm sure it has to all of you, but you haven't got to get content out. So I've been pondering things. I've been a touch black-pilled lately, so I've been thinking of some content slightly away from the sort of political criticism and leaning slightly more towards a cultural commentary. Listening to my man Morrissey, who's been very outspoken on Brexit and a few associated topics. And in one of his songs there's this line, or a couple of lines, and it's she was left behind and sour, and she wrote to me equally dour. In the days when you were hopelessly poor, I just liked you more. And I'm not by any means here going to glamorise poverty, but like much of Morris's lyrics, you listen to it, you identify with it, and you know there's you know, when I was with my Vietnamese, well, she's English but from Vietnamese heritage girlfriend who had a big job, loads of money, doing well. At the time, I weren't doing too badly, living in Soho, fine restaurants. You know, we ate out almost every night, and not like down the Chippy or Greasy Spoon. We'd be having lobster, foie de mer, you know, lovely, a bottle of red, and not the most expensive, but not the cheapest, which is often why they'll have a grouping of 3, you know, make everyone buy the middle one, which is, of course, overpriced. Amazing that they put wine glasses on tables, because that's where the money's made, you know, that's 50 quid a bottle. And you look a bit of a cunt, especially on a date or with a partner. Yeah, I'll have the crab and the lobster salad, please. Can you take these wine glasses? Yeah, it's all very buy the wine. A contemporary, modern British restaurant is a funnel to make you buy wine. Think about that. Regardless, in that relationship, which was very nice, we had 6. Hang on, we had 3 very good years out of 6. Strangely, the last 3. Usually it's the honeymoon period, and then, you know, it sort of falls apart. And we left each other. Kind of lovely, really. This is stopped, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I say kind of lovely. I went and lived in a brothel for 8 weeks to rattle from heroin, and that was the straw. That was the straw that broke the camel made of straws back. But I'd often think about a certain kind of degeneracy. You know, it felt endlessly extravagant. And I was, you know, coming from absolutely no money, less than no money. Some comedian on Twitter the other day, I got in a bit of a spat with him. Well, he kept hassling me and then refusing to answer the following question. He said, "Aren't you the Aren't you the, what was it? Aren't you the sole heir of a millionaire? I mean, just plucked out of nowhere. No, my father died and left nothing. He had nothing when he was alive, neither. Insane. Why have I mentioned that? Oh yeah, that, because of that. But, you know, there's this a kind of just indulgence, not in freedoms. I've often spoken how money gives you choices, and choices equate to freedoms in our society. But just an indulgence, which occasionally is all right, but it started to get a bit gross, a little bit vulgar. You know, if you've seen the Crack Diaries, my 3-part story, true story, and the interview afterwards I'd done with my girlfriend who lived through that period, we were together 11 years. And I can look back at that period, and I'm still in contact with her, we talk a lot. I look back at that period of when, you know, I can remember she's shuffling down through paint and shivering. She's got a bathrobe on over her coat, one flip-flop and a trainer. And I'm sort of behind her shuffling junkie joggers, silver, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called. Shell suit, Lacoste, silver Lacoste shell suit top. I mean, Jesus. And we talk about that and we laugh, and we had nothing. We had less than nothing. We were junkies. That's less than zero, Bret Easton Ellis. And when I look at those two times together, it would appear from the outside, one of them is obviously better. One of them is, you know what, eating lobster, drinking fine wine, dining in Soho, or scratching along the February evening, no money to eat, no electricity, after a bag of gear. And yet it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Now, you know, addiction is. This isn't about addiction. This is about less is occasionally, sometimes more. It's a well-known phrase. But I'll tell you why I got here. But first, I mean, addiction. Think about what addiction is. Addiction is something wonderful. Well, not in the long term, but you'll see where I'm going. You know, you do something and you like it. It makes you feel good. Makes you feel good in yourself. Resolves the conflict of existence temporarily. An addiction is when you want that feeling all the time. And so you seek it. You fight for it. You compulsively and obsessively need it. And so your life becomes obsessed by chasing that. And actually you lose the object of your obsession. You lose that amazing feeling as you become consumed in the pursuit of its regularity, its frequency. And, you know, give an alcoholic a brewery, put a junkie in a poppy field, it's going to kill them. It will kill them. That thing that made them feel so good in abundance will end their life. They'll dedicate their life to it until it kills them. And this is what set all this off for me. I play this game. I try and avoid games because as a young teenager, I played Elite on the ZX Spectrum 48K. And a couple of my summer holidays were completely lost to it. Beautiful summer days. I'd wake up 8 o'clock in the morning, get out the computer, mate would arrive, bang, we'd play that 12 hours until he went home and I went to bed every day. Now, great fun. Me and him would have a good laugh. And in its own way, it was lovely. But as an adult, I don't want to lose that time. I don't want to be committing more than 20 minutes a day to a game. A game I play on my own, not with others. If it was with others, if I was out playing poker or, you know, playing cards with someone of some sort, a social thing, that's different. But stuck on my phone, invest in emotions. You know, you see people like, fuck it, all that. Bollocks. Over a game? Nah, I don't want to do that. And anyway, I got caught up in one. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is because the next bit is obviously counter legal regulations and I don't want to dox myself. But part of this game is you build up coins and the coins will give you access to other features and other, you know, steps up the game. Now, I'd built myself up to 3 million just through skill. Spent no money. Promised myself I wouldn't. Microtransactions? More? I don't fall for this stuff. I'm clever. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going to... Before I know it, I'm starting. Because I lost it. I lost my 3 million. I do the gambler's trick. There's a lot of people who tell you this is how you win in gambling. You bet 50 quid on red and black. If you lose, you bet 100 quid. If you lose, you bet 200 quid. If you lose 400, 800, 1600. You keep doubling your stake so that at some point on that ladder, when you win, you get everything back that you lost. Now, there's a few problems with this. I mean, I've had people tell me for sure this works. A heated argument with one Irish bloke, I remember, after an NA meeting. And I said, like, mate, if you're so sure this works, why aren't you down the casino now winning? And he went, I just can't be bothered. Oh, no shit. You can go and do your landscape gardening job every day, lifting rocks around in fucking January at 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, but I can't be bothered to make a living I can't be bothered for one afternoon to clear the bank. Now, there's issues. Imagine you put 50 quid on red, you put it 50 quid on red and you get a red. Well, you've won. What, do you carry on or do you bet half as much until you got... You know, it's kind of weird. And also... You know, it's a 50-50 every time. In his head, he was doing the old, well, you know, it's bound to come up black in 10 times. The probability is, I'm like, mate, it's 50-50 every time. And he was like, no. Anyway, I was doing that. So if I lost, I was playing like 50,000 coin games. If I lost one, I'd play 100,000. If I lost that, 200,000. If I lost that, 500,000. If I lost that, 1 million. And that's how I managed to get up to 3 million over a course of weeks. Playing daily, and I lost it all. And I was fucking gutted. You bastard. Girlfriend's like, you okay? Fucking oh, so then I start microtransactions. I'm buying coins, something I thought I'd never do. Only £2, but I'd done it. And then later I'd done it again, and in the end I'd spent about a tenner on a game. On a shitty little £10. And I was starting to get worried. I was thinking, well, when will this stop? What happens if I lose all my coins again, which I've already done once? Am I just going to buy them again? Etc, etc. And so then I lost them all again. Oh, 100, 250, 500,000, 1 million. But I didn't get the pain because I thought, well, hang on. It's only going to be a tenner. And for some reason I went on Google because I thought, I wonder what people say about this, whether there's another way. I mean, playing is another way, but it can take months to build up to 3 mil. And I found out you can buy them on the black market. You can illegally... Now, the next part of this is presented as fiction. I didn't do this. This isn't real. Oh, this is story time with Christopher. So I found out... How do I talk about this? How do I not implicate myself? I'm lying, all right? This is lies. I'm outright lying. Dear Your Honour, this is all lies. Went on the dark net, and for a couple of bitcoins, no, a fraction, £3.80 worth of bitcoins, $5 of bitcoins, 500 million coins in my account in this game. Allegedly. Theoretically, I delved into the darknet and for 0.001415 bitcoins, I bought 500 million coins in this game, which is open all areas. Amazing. You can play games for 100 mil where you got to do certain things. And I thought amazing. Showed the girlfriend. I was like, because usually I'll show her when it's like 2.5 million and go, oh, aren't I good at this? Because she plays it as well. She fucking put me onto it. Women, the destroyer of nations and men. Sorry, I was just picking up one of her tattoos. She's got those... Anyway, prone to tangent. This is going on a bit, isn't it? Fuck me. So I've got my 500 million coins and I start playing. And the first game... I realise I've lost something. I've gained 500 million coins. Woo! I've got nothing at stake in this game anymore. You know, like you heard the stakes I was playing for, 250 million, 2 million max. I was now playing for 50 million. Lost, so doesn't matter now. It's not gonna be hassle. I've got another 450 million coins, and if I spunk all of those, £3.80, get some more. The game is ruined. I've ruined the game for myself. It's interesting, isn't it? Because that's the last thing I thought would happen. And I've told a couple of mates, first thing they've said is, oh, put me on to him. And another mate said, can he get him for Minecraft? Because my kids play it all the time. And I said, yeah, I'm not sure this is a good thing for them. He went, oh, no, it'll open up new levels and blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, they won't achieve anything. It's why the game doesn't give you that. It's why you don't get them automatically. It's why they need to be won. It's why they function as a reward when you've actually achieved something, when your abilities have improved. And I'm seriously considering starting from scratch again. Setting up a brand new account with your initial 500 coins. Weird, isn't it? I mean, I was chuffed to pieces. And then I was deeply, deeply saddened that greed, essentially, had fucked me. You know, the amount of times I hear people, always youngsters, early 20s, late teens, oh, I'd love to win the lottery. You know, they'll see it on telly. The Euro number is 50 million euros. Fuck me, they'll be like, imagine winning that. And I'll outright say to them, almost certainly it will ruin your life. And they have no grasp of the reality of that statement. They're like, oh yeah, ruined. Oh, what could I do with 50 million euros? And they can't see the potential for damage there. What will be lost? What will be sacrificed in that situation? Now, don't get me wrong, well managed and a very strong person could perhaps, or should be, you'd assume, should be able to make their life better from that. But on the whole, and history would seem to suggest, spend and all that, it can fuck you. When I was at Leeds University, I was doing every scam under the sun. I was signing on in 5 different job centres. I was signing on for a bloke in Sweden. I was renting out rooms that I was getting a housing benefit for. It was more work than doing a job would be to get it. But oh no, I was a bit whoa, yeah, you know, oh, I'm a scammer, I'm a blagger, I don't work. Shit, the work, the effort, and the stress I had to do to not work was crazy. You know, it was driving me insane. And one of them was the checkbook. Open a bank account, get a big fat 50 checkbook, go and spend all the checks, then just run away. It just doesn't matter, because they won't come and get you because you're a student who's moving house every couple of weeks. And a mate of mine done it. He said, what? And I said, yeah, just get a bank account, get a checkbook, spend it all, and then just move. And so he did. And he'd never broken the law in his life, this bloke, and he was a really nice bloke. But the greed, the idea that he could have things that he wanted. And he got the checkbook, and we went out into Leeds, and we were just walking into shops. I mean, the pair of us were broke, absolutely skint. We were walking into shops and he was going, what do you want? I was like, grab me that Nike jacket. I'll have a pair of those nice Levi jeans. Get me those Adidas trainers. We were cracking up, signing. And of course it worked because we weren't actually breaking the law at that point. These were checks. It was his account. He had the ID. He had the card. No worries. And I remember we walked back to my girlfriend's house and the pair of us would usually walk around like very poor students. Dirty old T-shirt and a dirty old pair of joggers. And we were now walking up the road like fucking Kid and Play. It was ridiculous. All these, you know, sparkling new, expensive clothes. And my girlfriend's face was a bit disappointed, really. You know, she wasn't like, whoa, wow, look at you. She was like, You know, and as soon as I saw that on her face, I couldn't hold it in myself anymore. And the hollow reality of the snatching greed that I'd been involved in. and the immediate devaluing of the items I was wearing and a few other things that he bought me. They just symbolised failure. They symbolised thievery. They weren't earned. I hadn't had to do anything that defined me positively as a person to get them. And because of that, I can still remember the few items of clothes and how they slowly disappeared. And in a month or two, I was back to my dirty, stinky clothes that somehow I'd managed to work and buy. And it was a real strange time. A strange time to be around that. This is a slightly different example, but I discovered that bloke Alex Hornald. Alex Hornald is a free solo. There's a few of them: free climbing, free solo. I don't know, but he's one of these blokes who zooms up rock faces with no ropes. He also does it with ropes, but with no hooks and all that. Just a safety rope, but just his hands and feet. And there's a movie made about him climbing this thing called El Capitan. He calls it El Cap because he's obviously said it a million times. And it's something like 3,000 foot tall, near vertical. And I don't mean near vertical. I mean, it's not far off vertical. And in places it is. No ropes, no strings, no trampoline, no parachute. Just a bit of chalk on his hands, a pair of climbing boots. They do the maddest things, like there's a crevice as part of it. And he says he puts his hand in, and then you put a fist in, and you twist it, and it just jams you in. You're not holding, it's not like a grip as such. It's like using your body as a wedge. And then you can sort of move, and then move your legs, and then take it. Intense stuff. You fuck up, you fall, you're dead. There's no second chances. I imagine once you're over 100 foot, a fall is death. There's nothing to grab onto. It's not Mission Impossible. A bit of rock falls away, finished. A bat comes out of the rocks, which they do, bats, birds, mice, etc. And I looked into this bloke, Alex Hornald, and was amazed at him. And what really struck me was he's an absolute success in his field. He's always been a climber since he was a child. And I was totally enthralled. And, the beautiful footage, it's a documentary. They had cameras hanging. They had other climbers, all this beautiful footage, remote cameras, all that. Just wonderful, just lovely. And that's all I had of it. And I thought, there's something beautiful and there's something pure about that. It's just a man and nature. He's just fighting. It's a battle with nature. So I looked into it more. He was on talk shows, late night shows in America. Those ghastly, disgusting, sterile, culturally disinfected, useless, politically hygienic nonsense shows. He was on there. I think I might have an issue with those things. And he was on there and he was talking about the whole thing. And he and it was kind of weird. There was something he was kind of avoiding saying, but he was having to mention it. He was talking about choreography and having visualized it and this and each one of those moves. He said, I can take you through in my head those moves. I planned this climb for like 10 years. And he was sort of saying a little bit, but not giving enough. And I looked into it and I found out more. And it turns out this isn't a man climbing without ropes up a mountain. This is a man who has already climbed it with ropes several times, possibly hundreds, and mapped out every move. He knows down to the next foot movement, to the next inch he's going to move his hand, that climb exactly. And when I got that information, I was so disappointed. Because now it's a very different thing. Now it almost feels like the difference between a novel and a report. You know, a novel being the idea of this man just going for it and finding his way, not knowing, the unknown, the trying, the discovering, the learning, the adventure, a kind of effervescent glory of supremacy over nature. And I'm deliberately being, verbose about it. And then compare that to a report. A very structured, itemised, systematic, organised system of a man going right hand up, left hand finger grab, foot one up here, check, right hand up, duk duk duk, which you could program a robot to do, basically. And that extra information that I got, and the argument here is that we shouldn't know stuff. My point is that sometimes less is more. You know, like the clothing, when I had those dirty student clothes, they reflected my life. They were me. I'd earned them. I'd chosen them. The dodgy checkbook ones were scum. And they reflected scum. The lobster dinners compared to shuffling along in a bathrobe. The idea of the man climbing up, the adventure, the freedom, compared with the highly structured, choreographed, mechanical almost ascent in the form of a human report. You know, I earned a lot of money selling drugs in my 20s. And that money comes and goes. You know, one week you're buying the whole boozer, drinks for the whole night. The next week you're ringing people up asking if you can borrow some money. It's an up and down kind of life. And the first suit I ever bought was once I'd done all that in and had set up a business. I set up a business and I bought a $2,500 suit out of my own money. And I absolutely loved that suit. I still do. I've still got it. It's like 18 years old. Still fits me. I either haven't grown, I don't eat enough, or someone's adjusting my suit on the sly. I have had to have the trousers opened a little bit. But that is just gorgeous to me because it symbolises effort. It symbolises my personal success. Now, after that, once business really picked up and I had an abundance of money, like, don't get me wrong, shelling out $2,500 for that suit cost me. You know, it meant there were other things that wouldn't get bought, but my dad just always said to me, when you can, get yourself a suit made. And my father's been dead since I was 16, and it was something I had to do. It was a rites of passage. It was a way of communicating and connecting with my dead father. So it had to be done, and it was beautiful, and it was true, and it was honest, and it was achieved. Later, a couple of years, money was coming in abundance. Business was flying. It was taking off. I bought a few more suits. Vulgar. Absolutely vulgar. Because it was just showing off now. I had a jacket made, one of those kind of Brigadier's jackets with all the gold sort of roping or threading, don't know what it's even called. Cost like 1,500. Ludicrous thing. I used to wear it to Tesco's. I'll see if I can dig out a photograph. I'll put it on at the end. I ended up selling it on eBay for about 400 quid. And again, it comes down, you know, less is more in so many instances. There you go. One of those kinds of videos.
Thanks for watching.
From ano sa niya malapdang